administrative arrival. The faculty, associate deans, college dean, chancellor, and vice chancellors, university officials, board of regents, we also have the vice presidents led by Dr. Charmaine Rose 𝗕𝗁𝗵𝗹, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Engineer Albertson Amante, Vice President for Research, Development, and Extension Services. Attorney Noel Alberto Mondap, Vice President for Administration and Finance. Dr. Waverly Mandani Garcia, Vice President for Development and External Affairs. And the University President, Dr. 𝗕𝘅𝗲𝗏𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀, with the guest of honor and speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of the University Mace. The University Mace is a symbol of great significance, representing the institution's governing authority, scholarship, and integrity. The mace signifies and serves as a visual reminder of the university's commitment to its core values. In essence, the University Mace is a powerful emblem that embodies the spirit of academic excellence and tradition. The Batangas State University Mace is held by the Secretary of the University and the Board of Regents, Attorney Luzviminda Rosales. Let us have our attention to the entrance of colors. Please remain standing for the doxology and the singing of the Philippine National Anthem by the BatStateU ad libitum chorus.
Gentle as your children's laughter all around, all around.
Your people have grown weary of living in confusion. When we will realize that neither heaven
gentle as your children's laughter all around, all around.
Grant me serenity
For the confusions around are mere reflections of what's within me. If there's one more gift I'd ask of you, Lord, it would be peace here on earth, as gentle as your children's laughter all around, all around.
There's one more gift I'd ask of you,
Bayang magiliw, pwede sa silanganan, hanap ng puso, sa tingin mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyot ka ng mag-ibig, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisingil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simuyan, sa langit mong bagaw, may dilag kang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di madidilim. Lupa ng araw ng buwan, ating pagsinta buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang ligaya ng pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Please be seated. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Batangas State University, the National Engineering University's 57th commencement exercises. This year, once again, we have the theme Propelling Transformations and Accelerating Reforms for National Development. Today, we honor not just the culmination of years of dedication, perseverance, and hard work, but also the beginning of a new chapter where all our graduates will step into the world as future leaders, innovators, and professionals in their chosen fields. With the knowledge and skills honed within the university's halls, may you continue to uphold excellence, integrity, and service as you contribute to the advancement of business, economic progress, and global hospitality. Congratulations, graduates. Today, we celebrate you and the bright future ahead. At this juncture, we move forward to the presentation of the candidates for graduation by Dr. 𝗩𝗶𝘀𝗵𝗹, Dean of the College of Accountancy, Business Economics, and International Hospitality Management. She will now present the candidates for graduation from the college.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present for your confirmation the candidates for graduation from BatStateU Pablo Borbon under the College of Accountancy, Business Economics, and International Hospitality Management. Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting. Bachelor of Science in Accountancy. Bachelor of Public Administration. They have successfully completed all the academic requirements of the respective curricula as prescribed by the Commission in Higher Education and approved by the Board of Regents. Mr. President, the candidates for graduation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now have the university president for the confirmation of the graduates.
By virtue of the authority vested upon me by the Batangas State University Board of Regents and upon recommendation of the University Academic Council, I, Dr. 𝗕𝘁𝗏𝗍𝗔𝗍, University President, now confirm you graduates with all the rights, honors, privileges, and obligations thereto appertaining. Congratulations.
A good round of applause for our graduates. Batangas State University congratulates each and everyone in this remarkable achievement. The future is now ahead of you. Another warm of applause for the proud parents of our graduates, as well as the university administration. Congratulations to all of you. You may now be seated. At this point, may I once again call on the University President, Dr. 𝗕𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗏, for his commencement address and to introduce our guest of honor and commencement speaker.
To our guest of honor and speaker, whom I will be introducing formally a little later, members of the Board of Regents, university officials, the vice presidents, the chancellors, college deans, members of the faculty, our dear graduates, and our dear parents, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Hello. It's raining outside and many are asking if the graduation today will pursue. Yesterday, we passed an advisory telling that the graduation supposed to be at the other campus in Pablo Borbon will be transferred to Alangilan campus. For obvious reason. Kumusta po kayo ang ating mga parents? Hindi ho ba maulan sa inyo? Yeah. Kahapon, nung maglipat kami ng venue, hinihintay kong may magreklamo. Sabi ko, siguro kung klase yung ililipat, marami magreklamo. From main campus, Borbon campus, dadalhin sa Langilan. Pero pag graduation nililipat, kahit saan mo dalhin yan, mukhang ayos laang. Ano? Yan. Alam po natin kung gaano kahalaga ang graduation sa katulad nating pamilyang Pilipino, sa mga graduates at lalo't higit sa mga magulang. Kaya minarapat po natin na ang graduation, rain or shine, shall pursue at Batangas State University. Because we value the sacrifices of our parents. On behalf of Batangas State University Administration, I congratulate you, our dear parents. Binabati po namin kayo. Kayo ang totoong nagtapos ngayong araw na ito. Natapos na kayo sa lahat maybe ng inyong mga gastusin at alalahanin. Tama po ba? Nag-graduate na kayo sa inyong pag-aalala sa inyong mga anak. Sabi ko lagi, dapat kung tutuusin lang, kayo ang nasa gitna at ang mga nagsipagtabos ang nasa gilid. Dahil kayo ang totoong dapat itinatampok ngayong araw na ito, ang ating mga magulang. Palakpakan natin ang ating mga magulang. Kaya pag hindi natuloy ang graduation ngayong araw na ito, kayo ang unang malulungkot kung hindi magagalit. Sapagkat baka napatay na ang baboy, ay hindi matutuloy. Alam mo namin, marami sa inyo, baka or ilan sa inyo galing pa ng abroad, kumuha ng ticket para lamang umattend ng graduation ng inyong anak na hindi lamang 4 na taon, baka yung iba 5 taon na dyan, gustong-gusto nyo nang mag-graduate. Kaya po ang araw na ito ay talagang ginawa ng Diyos. No matter what they say, we shall pursue. This is a beautiful day. This is a wonderful day. This is the day that the Lord has made for all of us, for our parents and for our graduates. Kayo naman mga graduates, binabati namin kayo personally, from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of Batangas State University. We know the sacrifices that you've been through for the past 4 or 5 years. Here at Batangas State University, where education is at the highest level of quality. We know your hardships, we know your hard work, we know your difficulty, we know your sufferings. And today is our big day. Dahil dyan, kami ay kumikilala din sa inyong pagsusumikap, sa inyong hard work, at sa inyong pagtsatsaga. Palakpakan po natin ang ating mga graduates ngayong araw na ito. Starting tomorrow, as you leave the portals of this university, there are many questions running maybe in your mind. What are you going to do? Are you going to land a job? Are you going to put up your own business? Are you going to go abroad? Are you going to review for the board examinations? Or are you going to get married? Maybe another question. The last, sabi naman ng magulang, ay huwag naman sana. No? Huwag muna mag-aasawa. Pero kung talagang kabuwanan na, ay pwede na rin. After your education at Batangas State University, you are graduating, not from a small university, you are graduating from a national university. And expected of us is to profess at the highest level of competence, highest level of integrity, highest level of responsibility, and highest level of obligation. The obligation that we shall do to our country, to the state, where we owe pre-higher education. Sa kabatiran po ng ating mga magulang, ang pag-aaral po sa lahat ng state university sa buong Pilipinas ay libreng-libre. Buong-buo, tuition at miscellaneous fees. Kaya nga sa ating mga graduates, I always say this because we know that many are wishing and wanting to avail university education, but not all of them were given that opportunity. You were one of them. And even those given opportunity were not able to make it to this day. And you were, I may not say few, you were one of those who were given the opportunity and who were able to make it today. And because of that, I think we need to thank all people who made it possible for all of us. Our parents, first and foremost, even our faculty, our teachers, who honed us, who molded us, even our friends and relatives, our classmates, yung mga katabi nyo, baka diyan kayo kumopya ng ilang mga sagot sa ilang mga exam. Pasalamatan nyo rin yung mga yan. Dahil kahit sila, iginamit din ng Diyos. No? Para ngayong araw na ito, tayong lahat ay magdiwang ng ating tagumpay. So all of us must be thankful of this opportunity and must be thankful for those people who were used by God so that you will receive your diploma today. And it is our hope that as you leave the portal, as you go out from Batangas State University, you will carry with you the true name of Batangas State University, its ideals, its core values that will set you apart from graduate of other universities. To our parents, once again, we congratulate you and we thank you also for sending your children to Batangas State University and for trusting Batangas State University to be your partners in molding, training, developing our children. We at Batangas State University commit ourselves to the total development of our children so that they themselves will become responsible citizen of the country that we all serve. Muli po, binabati namin kayo, mga graduate, mga nagsipagtapos, at kayo po, mga minamahal namin mga magulang, congratulations po sa inyong lahat. Today, we are honored to have with us a distinguished development economist whose work spans continents and transforms lives. 𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗂𝗵𝗹 is a social sector economist at the Asian Development Bank. He leads sovereign projects on harnessing innovation and digital tools to advance education and skill development in Southeast Asia. He has also led work on digitalization and startup ecosystem development in Central and West Asia. He is also involved in the implementation of the project ASCEND, or Accelerating Skills and Competitiveness for Enterprise Development, a key initiative of Asian Development Bank that supports innovation and skills development in the Philippines, especially among universities. Through this program, he has contributed to strengthening innovation ecosystems and institutional capacities of several state universities, including Batangas State University, our very own university, by supporting infrastructure for research and development, technology transfer, and enterprise collaboration. 𝗕𝗁 is one of the authors of the policy brief entitled People-Centered Science and Digital Transformation, a practical proposal for the G7 and G20, which offers strategic insights for advancing inclusive innovation in the global context. Before joining Asian Development Bank, 𝗕𝗁 served as an Overseas Development Institute Fellow in East Africa, working as an economist in the Ministry of Finance in Uganda and South Sudan. He also served a William J. Clinton Fellow in India. 𝗕𝗁 holds a Master in Public Administration in International Development from Harvard University. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our commencement speaker. Let us give a warm round of applause to Mr. 𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗂𝗵𝗹.
To the graduating class, congratulations. Today is a celebration of all your achievements and your potential. It is truly a privilege and honor to be here with all of you today. I'd like to extend my appreciation to the University President, Dr. 𝗕𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏, the esteemed members of the Board of Regents, esteemed officials, chancellors, deans, vice deans, and all faculty members here today. I'd like to thank you for your leadership and your dedication to nurture the next generation of students at Batanga State University. To all the graduating students, while you go along with the celebrations of today, this week, and perhaps many more days to come, I do hope that you take out the time to appreciate and reflect on some gratitude for the professors who have challenged you here, for your classmates who've supported you, and your family members who've been along with you in this journey. This celebration also belongs to them. Take a moment to either outwardly express yourself, or if you're one of the shy kinds, to then, in your heart and in your minds, thank them. Because you're going to remember this day for many years to come, and it is a journey that you have taken along with many members with you. I'm quite honored and excited to speak about this topic, the theme for the day, which is propelling transformation and accelerating reforms for national development. Which, if you're anything like me, it sounds like something you read in a policy brief somewhere or in a government strategy document. But since it's a day of celebration for you, I'd like to share 3 key points that I'd like to take with you as you go forward into your careers. The 3 main things that I have learned in my own journey have been that first, in a country's national development, the country's initial resource allocation matters a lot, but probably matters less than how much you think it does. The second is that while there are very few generalizations that hold up at a macro level, that is the nature of generalizations, you'll always find a case to the contrary, there are a few that do, and we have empirical evidence for it. And those ones have very critical implications that I would like to share with you today. And third, in action, all structural transformation and reform takes place in organizations and between people. And that's where you're going to spend majority of your time working. So it's very important to understand how you relate to each other at your workplace. What does it mean to reform something? And what kind of change are you really trying to push forward? So before I go into these 3 ideas, I would just like to acknowledge that these are not my own ideas. I did not invent them. These are the sum of things that I've learned, heard, debated, and slowly come to understand. They come from economists, from civil servants, from colleagues, and people who work with communities, and from people who, when I say structural transformation, look at me in a really funny way, because they are the ones who work on the ground. They are the ones who really see what change means to people and to communities. But it is with their work, their questions, and their insights that have helped me make sense of what this term entails. I'm sharing these with you because this gives some sort of a structure to this ambiguous term called transformation. They've helped me make sense of the work I do, and I hope you'll find them useful. So coming to my first idea, a country's initial allocation matters, but perhaps less than how much you think it does. I'd like to quote Aldous Huxley, who said, "Experience is not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you." In other words, while your starting point matters, it's ultimately what you do from there that shapes your outcomes. We've all been dealt with a set of cards, the initial circumstances we face at every moment. And it might feel like those set of cards, which could include your background, your resources, and your circumstances, that they will play a very big role in your trajectory going forward. But I say that this is not necessarily true. This is not necessarily true at a macro level. And I'll give you an example of a small country which infamously is called the tiny red dot on a global map because it doesn't even have enough space to form its own boundaries on a map because it's that small. This is Singapore. At the time of its independence, Singapore had very little land. It still does have very little land. It had very few natural resources. It still doesn't have many natural resources. And it was so dependent on its neighbors that they had to import drinking water. They did not have water of their own that they could refine and drink. But this country today, despite all of these constraints, has surpassed most of the economies in the region and perhaps in the world. On the other hand, countries that were blessed with natural resources, and I say quote unquote blessed, have often found themselves on the other side of the resource curse. Something that you think of as a blessing could end up being a resource curse for you because the abundance of wealth did not translate into development. Sometimes, and in many cases, it did the opposite. This pattern shows up in organizations and companies as well. It's just not limited to countries as a whole. If you look back to the 90s and the 2000s, you might have heard of these companies called Kodak. They used to make cameras. Another company called Nokia, that was my first mobile phone. And perhaps Yahoo, which was at one point the leading website in the world. These were all leading companies in their fields. They had resources. They also had market domination. But today, we barely think about them when we use these same products made by other companies. They do not exist as they once did because they failed to act when it mattered. For instance, Kodak invented the digital camera, but they did not pursue it. They felt that it would have cannibalized their film business. The film which went into cameras would have become redundant. Therefore, they thought, why innovate? Similarly, Nokia underestimated the smartphone revolution. They had the wherewithal to pursue it, but they chose not to. These were not failures of resources. These were failures of responses, failures of choice that we all can make at any point. And again, on the other side of this, some of the biggest companies of today were started by broke college students and first-time founders. If you look up at the list of AI startups being funded by the biggest VCs today, many of them just began as an idea in the minds of resource-starved students, somewhere in a college dorm or somewhere in someone's bedrooms. Their initial allocation, as you might all understand as students of public administration, finance, their initial allocation of resources was not great. But their trajectory and their choices made the decisions matter. And this applies to individual lives as well. If you feel stuck at any point, whether it's about money, connections, or even clarity in what you would like to do, that's absolutely okay. Because you are not stuck. You are starting at this point. And what you do today and from here on matters than where you are coming from. So coming back to the macro level, how do we decide what to do next, given whatever set of cards we've been dealt with? This basically comes down to what people choose. And here, I mean the institutions that govern people, the governments, the companies, the communities, and what their response as a collective is. The cards on the table today in front of us include some major mega trends. Something that we speak all the time is climate change. The other one is artificial intelligence. These have inherent risks, but they also have big possibilities. And because we're part of developing countries, they are coming on top of all the layers of other complicated things that we have to deal with already. These are the types of questions you, as policymakers of tomorrow, will have to deal with and come to solutions to solve and to figure out how we go forward as a society. So this brings me to my second main takeaway. There are few generalizations that are true at a macro level. That is the nature of generalization, because if you find a case to the contrary, you cannot generalize anymore. But there are some which have been found to be empirically true. And these theories have been rewarded by Nobel Prizes and have been showcased around the world as leading theories for development economics. And those have very critical implications on the types of actions we take. One of these important generalizations is that for economic transformation to occur, countries need to do things more productively and produce new things. So just to reiterate, this has two parts. You need to be more productive in what you're doing, but you also need to produce new things. And both of these are essential. Why? Because first, whenever you do more of the same, this leads to diminishing returns, which means that you can only extract a limited amount from one type of crop, from one type of industry, or one type of product. Eventually, the gains from doing the same thing over and over again will flatten out. And the second reason is because even if you have a competitive edge tomorrow, that could be temporary, as we saw in the case of Kodak, Nokia, and others. But even in case of countries, this can happen very quickly, because other countries can learn to do the same, either through transfer of knowledge or through imitation. And they will compete with you. So the more important question really becomes, what's next? What is the new thing that you can produce? And these two factors have essentially been the main components of structural transformation. Doing things better, but also doing things, different things altogether. Well, this is just like, okay, we understand that. How do we do this then? How do countries become more productive in doing new things? And this is where things get a little bit more complicated. Because the traditional thinking has always been that we just need more money to put into these systems, and we just need more schooling. And while these two are quite important, they haven't proven to be sufficient. The world has invested heavily in education and finance, but the productivity gains haven't met expectations. Schooling has increased, but income levels haven't kept pace. There is something else missing, and this is quite evident. Many developing countries today have higher education levels than developed countries in the 1970s and 80s. However, when you look at income levels, they do not have the same level of per capita incomes. So what is it about really, if it's not just about having a good idea? Well, as a whole, it's about whether firms can take risks, whether governments can support experimentation, whether institutions can adapt, and whether people can learn quickly enough to keep up. This is what is classified as productive knowledge, the specific practical know-how that lets people do different things in a different manner as per their context. And this information relies in people's heads and is learned through experience and is difficult to transfer. This is what we also call tacit knowledge. So what you've learned in your courses so far is codified knowledge. It's the knowledge that can be written down in books, printed, or stored in databases. For instance, the blueprints for the most advanced electric vehicles are available online today. You can go and download them. The code behind the most advanced AI models are also available online. You can go and use them. However, if countries were just able to invest in education and put some facilities together, we should be able to see the same returns here, but that does not happen. Because codified knowledge is just one part of the story. The other part is tacit knowledge, the kind of knowledge that's hard to write down, hard to teach, and hard to learn without doing. To give you a simple example, it's the difference between learning about surgery by reading or learning about surgery by doing. It's the difference between knowing the theory of management and running a team under pressure. And tacit knowledge is basically what enhances codified knowledge to be used effectively. The issue here, though, is that this type of knowledge moves slowly. You cannot send it over an email. You cannot even share it with someone in person. You really have to understand how things work for yourself. One way it has moved very quickly, though, is through migration. It can be within your country, people moving from rural to urban areas, or it can be between countries. Regions often tend to simulate what their neighbors are doing. And not just through trade, but also through imitation of doing similar things. So when workers migrate, they often carry with them the know-how, the tacit knowledge of how to do things. And a typical example here in the 80s and 90s has been the Bangladeshi workers who were trained in Korea and came back to Bangladesh and set up those 52 firms, which changed the entire country's export basket. There are many other examples. I come from India, where people who went to the US to become tech leaders had to come back. And they started their own companies with the same set of people who were there in India, but they were able to do much more. And now they're leading some of the biggest tech companies and competing globally. So then this begs another question. If knowledge doesn't move easily between brains, how does it work then? Well, sometimes it's just easier to move the brains. Migration is one example. Another example is what we see here around us, where you attract pioneering firms who can then attract the talent they need to innovate and create new products. And once these firms are established, they change the possibilities of the regions where they exist. New industries emerge around them, not because of policy necessarily, but because of the proximity to know-how. And this is the answer to the question of how do you do things better and produce new things. You build and mobilize knowledge. You create environments where people can learn from each other. You support organizations that can absorb this knowledge and recombine expertise. And you attract and retain talent. And you recognize that transformation does not happen through general education alone, but it happens through practical and often invisible work of learning how to do new things. So different countries have tried it in different ways. Industrial policy has been a major traditional way of looking at it. Economic zones have been another way of doing this. And most recently, innovation policy and innovation zones have been a new way. So today, governments are engaging with these policies with ecosystems in mind, actively collaborating with firms to learn what works in practice and attract the right talent. So this has become an iterative and collaborative process. And as you step into your careers, you will be part of this process. Whether you're working in public administration, financial accounting, or management, you will be in these spaces where transformation actually happens. And this brings me to my third and last takeaway. And this is a bit on the personal side. Broad structural transformation takes place through organizations and between people. And this is where you're going to spend majority of your time when you go to work. So we speak of transformation often as a goal, something we want to see in our institutions, our communities, and our economies. But change in organizations and among people is rarely smooth. Why? Because it involves people giving up something familiar. It could be status, it could be their daily routines, or it could be their identity. And it involves giving up on these things for something uncertain. And perhaps it comes from experts who have not had the same lived experience as they have. So the discomfort isn't about the change, it's about the loss that comes with taking up change. For instance, whenever we have rapid urbanization, it means that people are displaced from rural communities and there is an erasure of traditional ways of life. And it's a question for us as a community to decide how do we come to terms with this. So if you want to make transformation smooth for people, you can start by being close to the people themselves and the problems they face. Suggest that you spend time understanding issues, not from reports or data, but from the ground. You are likely to get meaningful insights from immersion rather than analysis from a distance. And so you can listen to people and observe the systems before you go and try to change them. So I wrap up my 3 ideas on transformation on national development here, and I'll leave you with one final thought. As you move forward, you'll find yourself trying to figure out your own steps. What kind of work do you want to pursue? What kind of problems do you want to solve? And what kind of impact do you aim for? These decisions will not be easy. They will be faced with uncertainties, trade-offs, and competing priorities. So when Gandhi in India was asked about how should one make these decisions, he offered a talisman. A talisman is a guiding framework, a simple way of thinking about things that help you figure out what you should do. He shared this when India had just become independent, and when the biggest and the most pressing issues around him were poverty and inequality that went deep into society. He said, "I will give you a talisman. Whenever you are in doubt, and when the self becomes too much with you, apply the following test. Recall the face of the poorest and the weakest man or woman whom you may have seen, and ask yourself if that step that you contemplate is going to be of any use to them. Will they gain anything by it? Will it restore them to a control over their own life and destiny? In other words, will it lead to the freedom for the hungry and for the spiritually starving millions? Then you will find your doubts and yourself melt away. If you can identify the issues that motivate you and matter to you, you can ask yourself, will the decision in front of me help move that forward? You might not be able to act on it today. You might not be able to act on it even tomorrow. But if you hold on to it, and if you return to it when the time is right for you, you will find a way. So congratulations again to the class of graduation of 2025. I wish you luck and a lot more as you go ahead in your paths. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. 𝗷𝗂𝗵𝗋. Your lifelong lessons, your words of wisdom, knowledge, and experience will remain in the hearts of our graduates. Batangas State University would like to award a special plaque of appreciation and token to our guest of honor and speaker for this year's commencement exercises. We would like to request the university president to award the plaque and token. And Engineer Albertson Abante will read the inscriptions.
Republic of the Philippines, Batangas State University, the National Engineering University. This plaque of recognition is awarded to Mr. 𝗷𝗂𝗵𝗹, Social Sector Economist, International Development, Economic Growth, and Innovation Diffusion of the Asian Development Bank, whose demonstration of exemplary dedication, magnanimous support, and inspirational leadership as guest of honor and speaker effectively highlighted the university's vision of propelling transformation and accelerating reforms for national development. Given on the occasion of the university's 57 commencement exercises, this 24th day of July 2025, at 𝗕𝘅𝗶𝘀𝗵𝗹 BatStateU Alangilan, Batangas City. Signed, Dr. 𝗕₂���₀ University President.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Mr. 𝗕𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗪𝗏. Let us rise for the recession of the guest of honor and commencement speaker, Mr. 𝗕𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗪𝗏, with the university president. You may now take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to the highlight of this ceremony, the presentation of graduates with their pre-awarded certificates and medals. We now start off with Bachelor of Public Administration as Dr. Lorena Mendoza will present the candidates for graduation.
Presenting the graduates of College of Accountancy, Business, Economics, and International Hospitality Management under the program Bachelor of Public Administration. Abanes Jersey Ann. 𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗏𝗪𝗏. Abanilla John Lloyd M. Abao Mark Joseph R. Abdon Princess Micaela M. cum laude. Abejero Ronaline C. Abella Mary Jane R. Adoptante Carl Justin D. Adovas Adan Isaac O. Agabin Justin Marie D. Agno Angelo P. Agonia Felix Mario M. Aguila Jomay Alexandra A. Aguilar Braden Gabriel A. 𝗩𝗁𝗪𝗪𝗃 B. Alab Kyla B. Alamat Joseph Emil G. Alata Lovely Grace L. Cum laude. Alberto Erizel Marie L. Alcantara Maki Rafael A. Alda Patricia C. Alday Ariel J. Alday Jenica C. Cum laude. Aldovino Angelo Martin D. Alinsuot Nicole M. Alon Reynoa Margaret C. Alvarez Christine S. Alvarez Faith Ann V. Alvarez Lindsay Jazel O. Cum laude. Alvarez Maria Crisette Almajoy B. Alvarez Xander D. America Princess R. Anzaldo Marinette Patrice I. Arada Trisha May M. Aringo Kristen Joy S. Armada Lainalyn E. Atienza Micaela S. Atienza Michelle M. Austria Giancarlo C. Bakay Joseph Nathaniel Arnold Y. Bagon Carla Louis B. Bagon Rika R. Baha John Lloyd G. Baldesancho Shin P. Baliwag Elijah C. Balmes Maria Soleil D. Balmes Mariel P. Balume Mariel D. Banay-Banay Salve James Michael Jofet C. Banyes Johannes H. Banta Nicole A. Bantugon Mig Vladimir T. Barbecho Jessica A. Bastillador Ricolin M. Bautista Ralph Allen G. Bailon Thania Jane P. Bayungan Jessica A. Diaz Angelo B. Bico Jelly L. Biscocho Justin Nicole M. Bitancourt Roseann J. Blanco Tommy D. Britannia Jane Angel M. Breton Jason D. Brocal Angeline M. Buenviaje Chloe D. Buiza Roy M. Bunyi Janessa Joyce B. Kabahog Jovelyn D. Cabrera Charlene A. Kabuhal Maria Isabel P. Kalalo Jazel D. Kaliwara Myrel Princess A. Kalyanta Lawrence Alexander C. Campanero Diego V. Camson Erica A. Cantos William Jefferson B. Capio Anlin C. Karandang John Boris M. Karingal Ernest Justin E. Karingal Jericho E. Karingal Kate Andre M. Carolino J.R. B. Carpio Evelyn B. Caryon Alia Nicole A. Casabuena Janelle Andre M. Casanova Aleza Jane S. Casas Kim Robertson S. Katapang Mary Jane B. Katapang Ron J. B. Katilo Rina Isabel R. Kausapin Dayan M. Codenera Jr. Elazar A. Coliyat John Jamil E. Cruzat Jerilyn. Cueto Angelito M. Cueto Dayan C. Cueto Gia Nicole S. Cum laude. Cuevillas Elvin Mark Johan. Kultura Darrell Angelo T. Dahunog Owens J. O. Dalangin Christine O. Dalangin Van Joshua P. Cum laude. Danao Daniel Luis A. De Castro Harleen S. De Castro Pauline Rose S. Declaro Carl Andre B. De Gracia John Rowan M. De Guzman Kyle R.V. Summa Cum Laude. De Guzman Renrix Andre A. De Luna Mariel A. De Rojas Jomar V. De Zagun Angeline D. De Zagun Patricia May Cum Laude. De Villa Von Nelly L. De Cepeda Clarissa May D. De Lizo Januel M. De Los Reyes Lucky Vic R. Di Maano Jazel D. Di Maunahan Argel Rena C. Cum Laude. Di Maunahan Arkim M. Dinglasan Janine H. Dogilio Mary Rose D. Cum Laude. Eje Odessa B. Enriquez Generoso III R. Enriquez Kian C. Cum Laude. Enriquez Mary Rose A. Escalona Franz Evan V. Esguerra Rina A. Espiritu Alexandria Nicole A. Evangelista Eliza E. Evangelista Liberty P. Cum Laude. Fabul Jenna May M. Cum Laude. Fajardo Laikisha P. Falia Princess Mel Isa May C. For her, Juliana Maru V. Florendo Leonard L. Florindo Erica Joy L. 14 Marie. Gabon Maria Razel M. Gamboa Ricky C. Garceliano Andrian T. Garcia Bianca Isabel V. Cum Laude. Garcia Marian N. Garing Kimberly A. Garing Mike Angelo E. Cum Laude. Gayeta Jamar O. Gayeta John Sedi D. Gerarde Marie John E. Cum Laude. Jeremiah Lawrence B. Godoy Lexter D. Gomez Angelo C. Gomez Rommel P. Gonda Jr. Leopoldo H. Gonzalez Jason F. Gonzalez Jolan S. Gonzalvo Ira May N. Cum Laude. Gonzalvo Angelica V. Gonzalvo J. Mart M. Gonzalvo Shekyla May F. Grenias Nikos L. Halos Karin Pearl M. Haplit Clarissa May J. Cum Laude. Hermoso Cecil O. Hernandez Marlian Joy M. Hernandez Princess Diana A. Hernandez Erica Joy D. Holgado James Pete M. Cum laude. Cornelia Hazel M. Huerta Lester John M. Ilagan John Paul D. Ilagan Mary Ann Joy G. Ilagan Mary Grace N. Havilio Carl Angelo C. Lacson Kiana Joyce L. Cum laude. Landicho Andrea V. Landicho Jomor Andrew. Lastimoso Hazel A. Cum laude. Lastimoso Jericho A. Laurico Hannah Jade R. Lavilla Knight Gabriel R. Leona Jennifer R. Cum laude. Lipa Leandro Victor L. Mania cum laude. Liadone Aimsitian Hill S. Liadones Ivan Carl A. Lianita Mackenzie B. Lopez Razel Joseph M. Luistro John Florence M. Luna Razel Ann H. Makalalat Ira Vincent G. Makalintal Christian V. Makatangay John Nicole O. Makatangay Rika L. Magboo Justin M. Magnayi Jervin J. Magtibay Trisha May J. Makalintal John David B. Malio Armando III C. Manabat Princess Maui G. Manalo John Nico R. Manalo Julian C. Cum laude. Manalo K.N. A. Manungsong Raquelin A. Cum laude. Manungsong Riza B. Mantele Maria Nicole Ann I. Cum laude. Manzano Dorothy May A. Maranan Pauline Jersey B. Marasigan Jason Cyril L. Marquez Jewel Noel G. Marquez Pamela Ann B. Matining May A. Maulyon Jade Ann M. Medrano Barbie B. Mendoza Karil Syrie D. Mendoza Jerwin D. Mendoza Hazelin D. Cum laude. Mendoza Jean E. Mendoza Joan C. Mendoza Trisha Erica May C. Meneses Geraldine Cum laude. Mercado Mays G. Menor Baby Jean S. Mojica Renz Paul L. Molieno Moiraya Michelle T. Monton Cherry Lou V. Morales Maria Isabel A. Morera Freyson Kim Lawrence R. Cum laude. Mortel Lazel Enoch H. Mortel Lakiver V. Napili Maria Bernadette M. Navarro Hannah Micaela D. Navarro Trisha B. Nazareno Rochelle Baby Love P. Narcuit Francis Oliver C. Nickdow Razel Joyce T. Nuyad Crystal Angel L. Obshana Shenamay A. Ocampo I. Rich. Oli Cassandra C. Ona Christian C. Otara Maria Janica A. Cum laude. Pakatan Janoa Colleen Paul G. Pagkaliwagan Francine Joy M. Pagdonzolan Christian Eric N. Paglikawan Francis B. Pagsuyuin Maria Luzia T. Panganiban Gail Antoinette L. Paz Marjorie A. Perinia Zyrene Alizon B. Perez Christine Joyce R. Petrola Mary Dayan D. Pili Carl Frederick P. Porley Roshan A. Porcioncola Micaela Erica A. Purino Rainiel John S. Ramos Lilibeth May E. Ramos Rhea R. Cum Laude. Remo Karen May M. Reyes Geraldine R. Reyes James Aidan L. Rivera Kyla Miles M. Rivera Ralph Lauren C. Ronquillo Maika P. Rosales Karen A. Rosales Kyla Karil C. Salamanca Maria Lea M. Sales Eliza Shamay Cum Laude. Sanchez Jorimor P. Sanchez Kristen Angelo D. Sangalang James Ryan L. Santos Kijamay F. Semanya Luis Marco RV P. Senarlo Jerome. Simbahan Faith Ivony P. Simera May C. Soya Natalie Joy M. Suarez May Valerie B. Sulit Eliza Bianca M. Superable Tristan L. Tolentino Daniel H. Tolentino Jana V. Torano Rose Ann S. Torres Maria Teresa M. O'Malley Sheila T. Untalan Luis Paulo D. Cum Laude. Uri Dana Isabel B. Cum Laude. Valdos John Errol V. Cum Laude. Valencia Mark Dave B. Valida Christine Luis R. Vallador Liena. Villanueva Camille C. Cum Laude. Villaruel Dayan May A. Villa Vicencio Desa Jen E.
We now call on Dr. Gregoria Doble for Bachelor of Science in Accountancy.
Presenting the graduates of Bachelor of Science in Accountancy. Abanador Hannah Trisha I. Abanto Ranzan James F. Abdon Isabella Mariel B. Acosta Kyla M. Adia Crislin M. Agoho RVG Ann A. Agonia Ben Christian B. Aguilar Jane Catherine C. Aguilos Shaina Marie M. Alvarez Neri May Gia S. Alvarez Vin Jairus R. Amada Justin A. Ambulo Marjan L. Aranza Cyril Drode A. Cum Laude. Arco Katrina Jane R. Cum Laude. Auguis John Lloyd R. Azures Maria Teresa G. Baer Gabriel B. Bagon Kyla Marie B. Cum Laude. Batiao Leon Gregory M. Magna Cum Laude. Bicol Kate Irene G. Bongiad Jocelyn G. Cum Laude. Bonkin Rendell Angel M. Bool Raleigh Jane Marianne R. Borja Lorraine Lorenzo, cum laude. Bunzol Jean Loren M. Cabales Diana C., cum laude. Kagimbal Arlene H. Kalaluan Unizel V., cum laude. Karandang Giovanni Lynn E. Karurukan Romanem Jovel A., cum laude. Castillo Nina Vanessa B. Katafang Sofia Aliana P. Chavez Riva Clarice D. Clarete Aura Janine D. Cometa Maui Jane M., cum laude. Corrales Catherine May B. Cueto Mary Joy C. Dawis Eliza Rica U., cum laude. De Castro Iris Angel C. De Chavez Aika Jail M. De Chavez Riza U. magna cum laude. De Los Santos Chloe Penelope V. De Mesa Burnett and Rose D. De Rojas Emanuela T. De Silva Sofia Margaret B. De La Vega Ashley Nicole L. De Len Alexandra G. Delgado Christine Jane S. De Mayuga Heather Rose E. Dolor Hazelyn C. Egia Franz Misael A. Escalona Lizette Kathleen A. Esguerra Angeline C. Cum laude. Eugenio Crislin Joy R. Falleria Erica F. Faner Rizalyn Joy F. Fernando Carla Romina M. Florendo Cristina B. Magna cum laude. Flores Zechariah Nina. Fortu Sharina M. Gamad Josephine L. Geronimo Maria Irish A. Gonito Baby Jane G. Guerra Mariel V. cum laude. Guevara Raymark D. Hernandez Wallen Joseph G. cum laude. Hornelia Kimberly D. Javier MacJade A. Lagutin Jimuel P. Lainio Micaela Isabel S. Lalogo Micaela O. Lising Justin Cyril P. Liwag Kimberlyn P. Liwanag Jason Patrick R. Lumbres Sir Lysandre M. Makaraig Eliza Bernadette R. Maderaso Reynalyn P. Magnaye Jean Pauline R. Magnaye Karina Faye M. Magpili Teresa Casey L. Magsino Daniel N. C. Magsumbol Erica May D. Malata Maria Christine M. Manalo Aubrey May M. Manalo Jairine May D. Manalo Christine Joy T. Manuel Rochelle L. Marquez Alexia Ray C. Masangkay Israel M. cum laude. Mendoza Aliana Nicole S. Mendoza Ana Zidria F. Mendoza Rain B. Melan Angela Coril M. Miral Kiara Christine M. Molieda Dairine L. Moraleja Jella G. Muling Tapang Mary Antoinette N. Marzabal Ana Gia L. Juane Cello Isabel P. Ofracio Daniela Clarice N. Ortega Mariz Q. Cum laude. Osenia Donald Aris F. Pabiania Eileen May A. Cum laude. Paloma Gerald Donwin B. Magna Cum laude. Panganiban Alexandria Jade A. Pangilinan Diana Jane C. Panopio John Eric Q. Cum laude. Perez Aisel Marie Catlea B. Perez Maria Dolor P. Cum laude. Plaza Alexandria M. Pulgado Laika M. Ramos Erin Nicole B. Ramos Geraldine R. Cum laude. Reynog Leon Dominic L. Magna Cum laude. Rivera Clarissa G. Magna Cum laude. Rosette Alaya Jean P. Cum laude. Salcedo Lara Jane J. Simara Well Ann A. Talicol Arabel G. Cum laude. Tolentino Jerry Nico M. Trinidad Nicole D. Tuiza Diana Joy M. Cum laude. Untalan Janelle I. Cum laude. Untalan Sofia Celine A. Valenzuela Mildred V. And Villias J. Mark A.
We now call Dr. Mary Grace Mandane, Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting.
Presenting the graduates from Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting. Aala Marie Remelin P. Abag Marian Joyce A. Abanyo Erica May C. Abante Don Daniel M. Abesha Gabriel Victor B. Abelia Jezreel C. Abrenica Lerob James A. Abrohina Kristen Joy B. Abuela Maria Neil B. Aklan Camela Joyce P. Aklan Tricia Marie M. Acorda Kiana Micaela D. Adame Brian R. Agbay Eunice Nay I. Ahena Jane Kyla A. Aguilar Elaine D. Aguirre Kristen Joy B. Alcance Michelle M. Alcantara Andre V. Alcazar Clarissa Jane A. Alda Glezi May C. Alday Alexandra Luis. Aldovino Francis Kyla C. Alegria Janica D. Alim Marian. Almeñana Jali A. Alterado Mia Amor A. Alvarez Wendy Ariel C. Cum laude. Alves Irene Ann D. Amandi Jovelyn A. Ambayek Maria Beatriz M. Cum laude. Amorine Freshel Joy I. Ann May Antoinette S. Andal Angela Grace V. Andal Doris G. Andaya Ana Crisel Q. Añanuevo Rafael C. Antimano Royce Errol D. Aquino Janice D. Arada Simon Christopher A. Arazula Laika E. Arcia Vigian Lay A. Ardid Keymark A. Arellano Andrea M. Arguelles Kathleen L. Aspecto Marjorie M. Atienza Chelsea Joy M. Cum laude. Atienza Cyril Kate R. Atienza Eliana Maxine V. Cum laude.